Former FBI Director James Comey was indicted again. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Wednesday, April 29th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. This is the second time the Justice Department has pursued a criminal indictment against Comey since President Donald Trump returned to office. Trump fired Comey in his first term over his handling of the investigation into the 2016 Trump campaign's ties to Russia. A previous indictment in Virginia was tossed by a judge. This one involves a picture of seashells. Last year, Comey posted a photo on Instagram showing shells on a beach that were arranged to write out 8647. He included the caption, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk." Let's explain those numbers. Trump is the 47th president. 86 can mean banning or removing a person, but it can also be slang for killing someone. Comey's indictment by a federal grand jury in North Carolina is based on allegations that post constituted a dangerous threat. Here's Acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche.
Threatening the life of the President of the United States will never be tolerated by the Department of Justice.
Comey was charged with one count of making threats against the president and another count of transmitting a threat against state lines. He issued a video statement yesterday saying he was innocent.
Well, they're back. This time about a picture of seashells on a North Carolina beach a year ago. And this won't be the end of it. But nothing has changed with me. I'm still innocent. I'm still not afraid. And I still believe in the independent federal judiciary, so let's go.
Comey has suggested that he stumbled upon the shell formation and did not arrange them himself. King Charles delivered a historic speech to Congress. That's number 2. The British monarch is on his first state visit to the U.S. as king. Yesterday, he became just the second British royal to address Congress. Over the course of his 28-minute address, he remained scrupulously nonpartisan. But he outlined a vision of the American role in the world that stood in stark contrast to that of the president. He said that the U.S. and Britain should defend Ukraine. He called on societies to protect the natural world. And he said that an independent judiciary should deliver impartial justice. A section of the speech on the need for checks on executive power received a standing ovation.
The U.S. Supreme Court Historical Society has calculated that Magna Carta is cited in at least 160 Supreme Court cases since 1789, not least as the foundation of the principle that executive power is subject to checks and balances.
In the past year, the Republican-led Congress has greatly diminished its power, largely by acquiescing to many of Trump's demands. Later in the day, Charles and his wife, Queen Camilla, attended a glitzy state dinner at the White House. In our newsletter today, you can find the menu, guest list, and photos of some of the strongest fashion choices. Number 3 is a Post exclusive. Video captured the moment an officer fired at the White House Correspondents' Dinner suspect. The Post reviewed surveillance footage from Saturday night's shooting at the Washington Hilton. It shows Cole Thomas Allen, the alleged gunman, appearing to raise his shotgun in the direction of a Secret Service officer. The officer then fired at him at least 4 times as Allen bolted through a security checkpoint leading to the ballroom where Trump was set to speak. Allen has been charged with attempted assassination. Meanwhile, we also learned new details yesterday about the suspect's background. The Post spoke to his ex-classmates at the California Institute of Technology. Allen served as a co-leader of a Christian group at the college. 2 alumni said it was hard to believe the man who was accused of trying to shoot Trump could be the same pious undergraduate they once knew. Number 4. A Supreme Court hearing today could signal the fate of 1.3 million immigrants. When Trump returned to office last year, that's how many immigrants were shielded from deportation to some of the world's most dangerous countries. But since then, the Department of Homeland Security has canceled protections for most of them. Hundreds of thousands of immigrants have already lost their work permits, their jobs, and in some cases, their homes. Temporary protected status is a legal designation that allows people from nations engulfed in war, natural disaster, or other emergencies to live and work in the U.S. Today, justices will consider a pair of lawsuits filed on behalf of Haitian and Syrian immigrants. They will decide whether federal judges have the authority to review the executive branch's decisions on the program. More than 60% of the U.S. is covered by drought. That's our fifth story. One of the worst droughts of the century so far is unfolding across the country, stretching from Oregon to Florida. The driest state compared with its average has been Utah, which has had record low winter snowfall and an extremely premature snowpack melt. Close behind are Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. Drought is also affecting more than 99% of the land area in Florida and Arkansas. In these states, people are concerned about water consumption in the coming months, as well as elevated wildfire potential and impacts on farming, especially as drought conditions are expected to continue in many places. To see maps of the hardest-hit places and a drought outlook through July, follow the link to the story in today's newsletter. Number 6. A longevity drug may weaken gains from exercise. The drug rapamycin is approved by the FDA to prevent organ transplant rejection, but thousands of Americans take it off-label to try and extend their lifespan. It may have an unexpected side effect, though, according to a new small study. Taking the drug could blunt the effects of exercise. 40 inactive men and women, most in their 70s, were recruited for the experiment. Some of them took rapamycin once a week, and others took a placebo. Both groups were told to do the same at-home exercise program for 13 weeks. Researchers anticipated that the drug would enhance the effects of exercise, but in every measure, the group taking the placebo performed better. They had better grip strength and did better in a sit-to-stand test, too. The people who weren't taking the drug also rated their mental well-being higher. For now, the study's lead researcher doesn't recommend taking rapamycin off-label. For his own longevity, he prefers to stick to family hikes. Good for him. Number 7 is for fans of casual dining restaurant chains. Red Lobster is bringing back a controversial deal. Do you remember the Endless Shrimp promotion? The deal, which allows restaurant visitors to order as much shrimp as they can handle, was partly blamed for the chain's bankruptcy in 2024. But now, the offer is back for a limited time. The company says it has guardrails in place to brace for the financial impact. Depending on where you live, you can get it for $25 or $30, which is slightly more expensive than it was the last time around. The promotion is also not being as well advertised as it was in previous years, though here we all are talking about it. To put the deal to the test, Post-food reporter Emily Heil and food critic Elazar Sontag visited a Red Lobster in suburban Maryland. They worked out that to break even on the deal, they'd need to eat 22 shrimp each. Emily managed 19, and Elazar downed a whopping 43 on his first ever visit to the restaurant chain. He's officially a fan. Our intrepid reporters recommend avoiding the Marry Me shrimp that comes bathed in a creamy tomato sauce, but they liked the scampi and coconut styles. So take that knowledge, go forth, and eat shrimp. My apologies if it is too early in the morning to be hearing about seafood. If you're enjoying the show, we always appreciate a friendly rating or review wherever you are listening. As we discussed yesterday, this is a request for people who listen to The Seven on Apple, Spotify, or other podcast platforms. If you listen to us on the Post's website or app, there's nowhere to rate us, but you're not off the hook. Instead, you can recommend us to a friend. Tell them what you get from our quick, sometimes weird, and always useful morning updates. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.